Hello and welcome to our video on the Great Depression, one of the most significant economic crises in modern history. In this video, we will explore the events leading up to the Great Depression, its impact on the global economy, and the lessons we can learn from it. The bubble phase. USA was the hottest economy in the world after World War I, with the investment destination of the world. At the time, the Fed used a very low interest rate, which was asked by countries in Europe in order to fix the decrease in the gold reserves. Basically, investment came to the USA at the time, by bringing gold from Europe to buy the US dollar. Given the economic boom, the 1920s were a time of prosperity and excess, with many Americans living beyond their means, fueled by easy credit and speculation in the stock market. This phase, also known as the Roaring Twenties, saw a rapid expansion of consumerism, with people buying everything from automobiles to household appliances. There was a general belief that the good time will not end. There were widespread overinvestments in the business sector. People in the street were over-speculating in the stock market. As the stock market kept rising, there is more speculation as much more people joined in. Many doing so being very leveraged. In 1928, the Fed started to tighten monetary policy. From February to July, rates had risen by 1.5% to 5%. Starting the week of October 21, 1929, the stock market crashed, setting off a chain of events that would lead to the Great Depression. The crash wiped out billions of dollars in wealth, and investors panicked, selling their stocks at a rapid pace. As stock market dived, margin calls were made, forcing more stocks to be sold. It was a great panic. The domino effect spread to banks, as people rushed to seek liquidity to offset the damage from the market crash. The banks faced heavy and quick withdrawals. News spread about the banks running out of money. It became self-fulfilling as people rushed to get the money out, eventually turning into a banking crisis. The US dollar at the time was fixed to gold. This limits the Fed's tools to print money and provide liquidity to the banks. Banks were forced to sell their most liquid assets very quickly at heavily discounted prices, making the overall economy much worse. At the time, the Hoover administration made the classic rookie mistake of leaning too heavily on austerity. Worries over the deficit and a push for austerity are classic responses to the Depression phase of a big debt crisis. Austerity seems like the obvious response, but the problem is that one person's spending is another person's income, so when spending is cut, incomes are also cut. Now, with lessons learned, we know that the right response to a similar deflationary crisis is to use expansionary policy of government spending and very strong liquidity injection from the Fed. This was used in the periods after the economic crisis in 2008. The consequences. The Great Depression had a devastating impact on the global economy, with unemployment soaring and businesses going bankrupt. In the United States, unemployment reached 25%, and in other countries, it was even higher. The Depression led to a sharp decline in consumer spending, which caused businesses to cut back on production, leading to further job losses. This crisis is an example of a deflationary economic crisis, where the amount of money and spending dramatically decreased. This causes prices to fall, resulting in less sales by businesses that lead them to push down wages. This in turn causes less money being spent, turning into a downward price spiral. The deleveraging. The Depression finally ended in the late 1930s, but it was a long and painful road to recovery. The process of deleveraging, or reducing debt levels, was a key factor in resolving the crisis. It took several years of government intervention and stimulus programs to finally bring the economy back to a healthy state. This was led by Franklin D. Roosevelt, who took office in 1933 and implemented the New Deal, a series of programs designed to jumpstart the economy. Conclusion. The Great Depression was a dark period in world history, but it also taught us valuable lessons about the dangers of excess and the importance of responsible economic policies. By understanding the events of the past, we can better prepare for the economic challenges of the future. Thanks for watching, and we hope you learned something new today.